Aaron Williams, he gets more on your level, but still being an adult. Like, he speaks like you, gets in your mindset, but he can still be like adult Aaron Williams. And he cracks jokes all the time at rehearsal, but we get serious when it's time to get serious.
He holds everyone accountable for acting like a professional. He acknowledges that we all are still students and we have a lot to deal with outside of theater, but his productions are always very professional, and that's one thing I've really loved because it teaches you a lot and it helps you acquire a lot of skills that you can take with you into the real world.
When I first came into Sweeney, it felt as if the level of profession was just upped just a little bit than what I was normally used to in school productions. I felt there was even more purpose to what I was doing, and the things that I would learn during the rehearsal and production process, I was able to take and then use them later on in life.
Even before Chicago, in our action English class, he taught us how to be more open and how to act, really, because I don't think I could have done Chicago. That's where he really saw my potential in 9th grade. And then I guess I know he saw the potential in me for Roxy in Chicago. He wants me to do more, of course, so I'm really trying to get into that.
He brings out of high schoolers and middle schoolers what I have not seen happen at my colleges that I've worked at. He is so good and he's so organized, and he really is able to talk to you on the same level and be direct, but still being in charge. He knows how to be in charge but not look down to you. And he does it very well. He's a fabulous director.
When you begin the process of developing a human being, the baby is always dealt with through emotions. You say, are you happy? Are you sad? Are you pouting? No words are spoken. There's no mathematical equations. There's no computers. We're dealing with them completely with emotions. When we get into the math and science group, all of that is wiped away, and we have a very oppressed young people who are very agitated, who have to use all kinds of bad language, negative thoughts, listen to horrific music, bottled up energies, and there's no way to release it. Because you can't release it with a mathematical equation. But with the arts, you have an expressive tool that takes that emotion that they learned without speaking, and it's channeled into something that's progressive, that's understandable, that's helpful, that's creative, that inspires them, that builds a spirit of self-supporting, self. It's empathetic. And when we raise the empathy of an audience, when we raise the empathy of a child, when we raise those emotional levels, you have emotional intelligence.
I think one of the reasons Aaron is such a big success as a director is because he not only connects with you on a director level, but he also really connects with you as a person, because anybody can tell anybody to go move to stage left, move to stage right, sashay, and then deliver your lines with jazz hands. Aaron sits down with you and gets to know you as a person. Or even if I needed somebody to talk to about my own personal life that had nothing to do with Chicago or Hairspray, I had a feeling of I could go to Aaron in confidence.
Through working with him, I know what it is that I want to do. Like, I know that I've always wanted to do something in the theater field, but I believe he has inspired me to actually take on education as a career.
From going from the closeted, shy kid in the corner at the beginning of my junior year to directing a show and actually having to lead people and be looked up to, it's taken me a long way.
Being on stage in Hairspray, just to say that I'm a part of Hairspray, everybody loved the show. Like, when I walk in town, I'm walking and people were just like, you were in Hairspray? And I'm like, yes. And they were like, that was amazing. And it makes me feel good to know that I was a part of it.
When I was walking in Target, this one lady walked up to me and was like, oh my gosh, you're from Hairspray. And so I was like, yeah. And so she described my character, knew who I was and everything. So it was helpful to let people know that they actually know who you are when you go in New Bern and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed all of it.
Teamwork. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but it really is theater and opera. Any kind of production you're in with a group of people that are in the same boat, it's very much dependent upon teamwork and really caring about your castmates.
And then my aunt told me, she told me I was such a good actress, she don't know what to believe that comes out of my mouth. Because she catches me, like, I'll pretend like I'm crying, and she's like, what's wrong? I'm just kidding. She's like, you know, I hate that about you. She was like, ever since you've been in that play, you've been doing that.
I didn't know what I wanted to do my senior year in high school at all. And then I did Sweeney Todd, and I knew from then on, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. It does not matter what I'm doing, I need to be in theater some way or another. Aaron is a huge part of that, and the cast was a huge part of that. Everybody on the production team was a huge part of that. I compare everything to Sweeney, and it's probably just because it was my first show, and I'm sure everybody does that. But I literally look back and I'm like, Aaron would have done that differently and better. Keith would have done that differently and better. And I just compare everything to it because it was so heightened and it was so much a part of why I decided to do this.
It's essential that we have Aaron here. He makes Eastern North Carolina better, the eastern part of the United States better, the whole United States better. You see how it exponentially is bigger because of Aaron? And Aaron's one part of that. But because of what he inspires in us, then we're able to take a part of Aaron with us to the next person we meet. So Aaron is like spread all over the world. So Aaron is very important to our success as human beings because he does build that which I just spoke of, the energy of the human spirit.
Yes, I know, my love. We'll take the customers that we can get. High, born, and low, my love. We'll not discriminate great from small. No, we'll serve anyone, meaning anyone, and to anyone at all.
I love you, Mr. Williams. You're my rock and my stone. I love you. That's funny.
And all the times he's just like, you can't just, like he just goes crazy, and I love him for that.
Aaron was trying to show me something for Worst Pies in London, and he did one of his funny Aaron faces, and he was like saying something, and he was like, with the little mouth thing he does, and he was standing on stage, and he did this whole like, he was singing, and he was like showing me how to do it, and you caught the whole thing on film, and he had no idea, and it was hysterical because we kind of all had the inkling that you were filming, and he just had no clue, and he was just going at it, and it was just, I remember little stuff like that was just so funny. The way he would direct us, and then he'd be doing something, and he was like, oh no, he's filming me. It was just funny.